Hey there, cat fans. Welcome to Meowster Podcast. I'm Rebecca Zish. That's Tim Black.
Hi there.
Hi there. And hi here. Hi all around this place.
Yes. Here we are.
Here we are. I'm back.
Yeah.
My voice is still not
It's not quite there.
quite back yet. Not sure what's going on with this, but glad to be back.
Yes.
And before we get started, I wanted to share something with you I've not told you.
Okay.
I went to Disneyland a few days ago. Actually, I went to California Adventure. I never went inside the Disneyland park, but I did take a walk down to the Disneyland Hotel to visit the Trader Sam's bar, which is a well-known location for Disneyland cats.
Aha.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and went there in the dark of evening with a hope to locate some cats. And on my way there, I said to my friend, I said, I don't think we're going to see any cats tonight. And as soon as I said that, a cat ran right in front of us. And I didn't get a picture.
Oh, no.
Because I didn't even have my phone out
to
take pictures. Because I was just thinking we wouldn't see any, if we saw any at all, until we got up to Trader Sam's.
Right.
So we're walking up, and I tried to get my phone out. And the cat kind of stopped for a while, but I didn't move fast enough.
No.
That was a gray and white one. I've been on the Disneyland Cats Instagram, and there's a couple of gray and white ones that seem to hang around. Yeah, I wanted names that seem to hang around there. But I really, in my opportunity to see this cat, I really thought it was a short-haired cat. And the only gray and white cats that seem to hang around the Disneyland Hotel that have been caught on camera are like medium to long-haired. There's two of them. Okay. So I don't think it was this one.
I don't think so.
And then we were at Trader Sam's sitting outside to increase our chances of seeing cats.
Yeah.
And again, I said, I don't know. I think that was it. I think I just get to see the one cat. And just then, a black and white cat comes down the pathway just on the other side of the short wall we were sitting by. And I got a whole bunch of pictures of that cat.
Oh, good.
But not with his or her face really facing me.
Yeah.
I just know it was a black and white cat. But I was like, snap, 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 snap. And then I looked at all of them, I'm like, none of these have this cat's face in them.
Bummer.
So black and white cat, been through the Instagram. But that one I had better pictures of. And I didn't seem to see that cat in the Instagram, like sitting there looking. So I went and asked some of the staff. I said, do you know this cat? Do you know this cat's name?
Yeah.
And there were like 4 staff members standing, hanging together. And I showed them the pictures and I said, have you seen this cat? Do you know this cat's name? And 3 of them just immediately go, no, I've never seen that cat before. But the 4th person, a young woman, says, oh, I've seen that cat, but he just showed up like in the last week or so.
Oh.
So, yeah. So he's a brand new cat.
Right.
That she says doesn't have a name.
Oh.
Or at least she's not aware of the name yet.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that information travels.
Right.
But anyway, she didn't know the cat's name. So we're sitting there. I was all excited. I'm like, well, I didn't really get a good picture, but I got some pictures.
Nice.
And then, as we're saying, like, well, let's get going. We started to leave, and I went, oh my God, it's a possum. There was a possum walking through the bushes right by Trader Sam's. And I didn't get a picture of it because it totally saw me looking. It was like, I've been spotted. Someone knows I'm a possum. It was not a cat. It was a possum.
A possum.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. Totally weird. So I didn't know there were Disneyland possums.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
That's news to me.
If there were, you would think they're supposed to live sort of in frontier land, like over by Splash Mountain, where there are animatronic possums and they could easily blend in.
Right.
But I bet you anything, if there if there's like a family of possums living at Disneyland, and, sure, why not?
Why not?
I bet when people normally see them, they think, oh, look, cats.
It's a kitty cat, yes.
Not a cat. Totally a possum. Walked like a possum, tail like a possum, the black beady eyes and the little nose like a possum. It was a possum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was enough. I'm like, okay, I've seen 2 cats and a possum. And so we have to turn around and walk back to our hotel. We weren't, staying in the Disneyland hotels. So you have to walk back through downtown Disney, right?
Okay.
And at this point, it's like 1:00 in the morning. We're walking back through downtown Disney. And I said, well, I'm definitely not going to see any. There's no cats that live at downtown Disney. And just then, a cat runs in front of me. This was a gray and white. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this was another black and white cat. I've totally messed up the story. Because the cat I saw, the cat I saw was gray and white. The cat at Trader Sam's was a black cat. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Was a black cat. And then the cat in downtown Disney was a black and white cat.
Okay.
And that one actually stopped for a while and let me take several pictures. But with each picture, I took another step toward it.
Yeah.
And it would like start to move and then realize I wasn't taking any more steps and stop again.
Okay.
And so we did this little dance for a while.
Yeah.
But I actually never got really close enough to get a really good shot.
Yeah.
And because of how late it was, my flash was going off. And without a flash, I wouldn't have gotten anything.
Right.
It was very late and very dark. The stores had all been closed for at least 3 hours at this point. And there were no other humans in downtown Disney at all, except, I think we saw a custodian. But we didn't even see any other visitors out there. So I think any cats that hang out around there, that's a good time to kind of go and see if you can find any food scraps.
Right.
Like any bits of churro left behind.
Yeah.
It kind of ran right past, there's a Haagen-Dazs shop. And it kind of was right, it was like running toward there. So maybe they find ice cream on the ground. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. They've got ideas. They have food stations, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
But
the good stuff
the good stuff, yeah. So, but that one we did this funny little dance where I'd take a step, and you'd stop, step, stop, step, stop. But yeah, I didn't get close enough to ever get a really good picture because he finally was like, no, now you're too close, and took off.
Yeah.
So in the Instagram, I have seen some black and white cats that hang around by the Disneyland Hotel. And I would suppose that late at night, they might get into downtown Disney.
Sure.
But still not anyone that I'm absolutely positive was the cat I saw. And of course, if you go through the Cats of Disneyland Instagram, which I recommend people do, it's super fun.
Sure.
And especially if you're ever going to take a trip down to Anaheim, California, because it gives you a sense of who you might see. Like I've always wanted to see Francisco, who is who's one of the most commonly spotted cats.
Okay.
And Francisco, that's a male name. It's a female cat. She's a very large, long-haired tortoiseshell.
Okay.
And so she's female.
Right.
But whoever named her years ago didn't realize that tortoiseshells were female. But she hangs around in California Adventure. And since we were spending a day there, I was pretty excited that I might see. I always think I might see Francisco, and then I never see Francisco.
No, well, someday.
But everybody else seems to see Francisco all the time. But no, I'm pretty happy because that's the most. Seeing 3 cats in one trip, especially 3 cats in one night, that's the most I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
pretty excited about that, and saved the opportunity to tell you until now.
That's very cool. We've been to Disneyland a couple of times, you and me. I don't think we've ever seen any cats.
I don't know that I have when I've been with you. I used to see more of them before I was really aware of what the situation was.
Yeah.
I would see them.
Yeah.
And I actually have some pictures I've taken of them years gone by.
And also, to be fair, I don't think we ever really made it a point to look for them while we were there.
No, we're probably busy doing other things. Yeah. But when you're there on a less busy day, and you have a sense of where you might see them. I think especially now that I have a better awareness of where the feeding stations are.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, I didn't know that I'd see any because right now at Disneyland, the train that runs, around the park is closed for repairs and things right now.
Yeah.
I think they'll have it open for Christmas because it's kind of a, thing at Christmas time.
Right.
But a lot of the cats, because there's feeding stations along those train tracks, or at least one.
Yeah.
And a lot of the cats hang out along there.
Okay.
And actually, if you ride the train, it's a good place to see cats. You can't really get a picture of them because you're moving.
Yeah.
But if you ride the train and you don't look at the park, but you look behind the train instead, that's a good place
to spot cats.
Okay. But I'm thinking because that train is, being repaired right now and worked on, there's, I'm sure there's maintenance to be done.
Yeah.
I bet you a lot of the cats are just hanging because there's like no train running by.
Right.
No people bothering them.
Yeah. It's nice.
Words getting out.
Sure.
Like, let's just go hang over there. So
cool.
Yeah. Anyway, 3 cats in one night.
Amazing.
Yeah. And the trick is I've learned now that if you just say aloud this magical incantation,
I don't see any cats.
I don't think we're going to see any cats.
Poof.
There's a cat.
There you go.
And so I actually tried it the next day a couple times in California Adventure.
Yeah.
Say, I don't think we're going to see any cats.
Didn't work.
And then you look. Like, where are the cats? Did you hear me, cats? I'm not looking for you now. And then, but they, no.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Anyway, so I wanted to share that with you.
Fun story.
Yeah. Well, now people know that's how you get a cat to come. Just let it out there in the world that you're not looking. And then here they come. Anyway, and a possum, apparently.
Yeah. Maybe put it out there that you are looking for a possum, and then they won't show up.
Yeah, where are the possums?
Wow, I don't see any possums anywhere, that's for sure.
Well, no, that would make them come. You have to say, I'm expecting to see a lot of possums
I'm
today.
not going to see any possums.
That's when they come.
Oh, yes, that's right. I've got it backwards.
You've got it backwards. So you have to say, I bet tonight we're going to see a half a dozen possums.
This place is just crawling with possums.
Then you see no possums. Okay. I wish I got a picture of the possum. He was way too I've been spotted. Yeah. I think that also I may have yelled possum when I saw him because it was just like, possum. Okay, but we're really here today to talk about a documentary that is currently streaming on Hulu.
Hulu.
You have to have Hulu Plus, though, to see it.
I guess. I don't know. I have Hulu Plus, and that's how I saw it.
Yeah, I guess.
And that's how you saw it.
That's how I saw it. I used your password. Don't tell anyone.
No,
that didn't happen at all.
No, you saw it some other way.
Saw it a completely different way.
A completely legitimate way.
And yet I'm not able to share that with anyone. I don't know. So it's a documentary that was made in 2014 by a filmmaker named Donna Minchwitz. Is that correct?
Lipowitz.
Oh. Why did I write down Minchwitz?
I don't know. It's Lipowitz.
That's weird of me.
You got the Donna right.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that was weird of me. I do things like that, though. Other things I'm very accurate about.
I screwed up the whole possum thing, so don't worry about it.
Okay. Okay. The documentary's title is Cat Show.
Cat Show.
Simple. And Cat Show, you might imagine, is a documentary about a cat show.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually about a specific woman who has a competitive cat, and sort of her journey in one cat show
in a
season. Yeah.
Carly Marno.
Yes, and her cat Tango.
Also his official formal name.
Yes, as a pedigree cat.
Yes, St. Jude Tiffany.
It's a terrible name. And she even said, so I call him Tango.
Yes, because
and
Tiffany
it's a male name.
I know.
Yeah. So Carly and Tango and Carly's many other cats live in Coventry in England, and they compete in British cat shows and cat shows in Western Europe. And I guess the interesting thing that makes Carly a more interesting subject.
The reason why they would do a documentary.
Well, yeah, it makes her a more interesting subject than just anyone else who might be showing cats, is that Carly is blind. And it is interesting.
It really is.
Because I think more than anything, the thing that kept striking me watching this documentary is that Tango is a multi-award winning show cat.
Yes.
And at the end of the documentary, they list through all of the titles that he earned in that just 1 year of cat shows. We can share that with people.
Yeah.
So he is a beautiful cat.
He really is.
And she's never seen him.
She's never seen him. Nope. But this is interesting, too. What I found really fascinating about this goes back to your question when we went to the cat show and you asked people why this breed. And there's a very specific reason for why Carly has this kind of cat and shows this kind of cat.
Which is
she is blind and her cats are Himalayans. Big, fluffy, furry cats. And she can appreciate the texture
of them.
The fur. And,
And they're also known for having incredibly sweet dispositions. And so that she appreciates.
Yes.
As well. And I think everyone would.
Could you imagine her with a Bengal?
Right. Or a Sphinx. Right? Or just many other not so nice.
Right.
We're just not it. I mean, all cats are nice. We like all of them.
Sure.
But yeah, Himalayans, or I could have understood her having Maine Coons or Ouija's or Siberians, like these like big fluffy guys.
Yes.
Who are just also real cool. And Tango especially.
He is super cool.
He's super chill.
Yes, he's the perfect show cat. I mean, as far as the perfect temperament.
Yeah.
Traveling around and...
He loves to travel.
He does. Because she did some traveling like on trains and stuff.
Oh my God. Yeah, so she can't drive a car.
No.
So she relies on friends who do show cats or friends who don't show cats to take her on weekends to these shows. And when they're in England and Scotland and they're not far to go, that's one thing.
It's manageable. She can get that done.
Yeah, and it can be just a drive.
Right.
But even when she goes to a show in Ireland, you have to take a ferry.
Yeah.
So...
And that was like a 9-hour trip or something, I think she said.
Yeah. And then later in the documentary, she goes all over Western Europe.
She did.
And she goes to some place she's never been before.
Right.
And there's some shows she really wants to go to enter Tango. Because as he gets closer and closer to the end of the season, how many points he's earning for how many ribbons he's getting becomes more and more important.
Right. Her goal is to earn 9,000 points in this season.
And she can only earn those points
if she goes to shows.
Right.
Yes.
And so these shows come up, and when the opportunities are there, she has to go. And she ends up traveling in Europe by herself, just her and Tango.
Her and Tango. They go to Belgium.
They ride on a train. And she has him in her lap.
On a leash, yeah.
Yeah. He just, on the train. And I think, we're like jumping ahead, but one of my favorite things that happens in this whole document, because Carly has a great personality. She is a great subject for a documentary.
Yes.
Like, she's fun to listen to, and she has interesting friends who all come around, and she's got all these other cats, too.
Yeah.
But she makes this great joke where she says if she's on public transportation and she has Tango or another cat on a harness and leash with her, she'll hear people near her saying to one another as if this is knowledge they have. Like they're very sure about this.
Yeah.
They'll say, "Oh, that's a guide cat." And she will allow them
to
believe this.
Yes.
She does not correct them.
No.
And even if they ask, like, "Oh, can I pet your guide cat?" She'll say, "Oh, yes." And she says that she'll tell people about how much training they have. It's just so nutty.
It's really funny. Yes.
Yeah. And she actually says that she believes that the only place a cat would guide you is to the fish shop.
I love it. Yes.
So the cat shows are her hobby.
Mm-hmm.
She's a physiotherapist,
Yes.
or what we would call in America a physical therapist.
Right.
And she has friends at these cat shows that trick her into giving them free massages.
Right. Little adjustments here and there.
So funny. Yeah, she's a great personality, great sense of humor. Mm-hmm. She's really fun to watch. There's so many things in this documentary that I like. I like the carriers she has for her cats, or like this yellow and black tartan.
Right.
That I've never seen a carrier like that. It must be an English thing.
Must be.
I like all the judges that we see throughout the documentary.
Yeah, they're great.
And we even mentioned in our own episode about the cat show we went to, judges of cat shows seem to be awesome people.
Yeah.
With great personalities and senses of humor. Right?
Right. And these were Tika cat shows too.
Like the one we These are all the International Cat, the International Cat Association.
TICA.
You can go back.
We've already had that conversation.
If you want to talk to us about that. I like all of her cat show friends. Carly specifically says that cat show people are the only people who have ever accepted her fully.
Yes.
And just accepted her, don't deal with her simply based on her disability.
You're the blind girl. Yeah, right.
Right.
She's just, when she's here, she's just Carly.
Yeah.
She's just another one of them.
And I like that she says that they joke about her blindness. And she appreciates that because she doesn't like people to tiptoe around her.
Right.
I mean, she's really, she's fine.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what in the documentary, she travels to Belgium by herself. She travels to the Netherlands by herself.
Yeah.
With a cat on a harness and leash.
On public transportation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
She really is. But yeah, I remember there's a scene where she's at a cat show and she's sitting down like in front of where some judging is taking place, and somebody's like, oh, sorry, I better not sit in front of you. I don't want to block your view.
Yeah, it's hilarious, right? Yeah, or I think, isn't there a moment where she's in the front row? Yeah, she's like, I need to be up here so I can see better.
Right.
It's very funny.
Yes.
So Tango, let's talk a little bit about Tango.
Sure.
Tango is a pedigree 2-year-old Persian Himalayan with color points. So he's kind of a creamsicle color.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. He's beautiful.
Here he is. A beautiful cat.
All cats are judged on body shape, face structure, tail length, eye color, coat markings, how well he's groomed, and his temperament.
Yeah.
And the grooming, she's got such a leg up on this.
She really does.
Because she's focusing on the fur quality. I like it when we watch her brushing him.
Yes.
And her other cats too. We get to see her at home brushing all of her cats. Yeah, she's and he's in the you already said this, but in the documentary, he's going to need more than 9,000 points to compete for best Himalayan cat in the world for that season.
Yeah.
And the cat that is his greatest competition is a cat named Spud, who is the world's top ranked cat and is a Himalayan. I think is what we're led to believe.
Right.
And she doesn't just brush him with brushes and stuff. She does it with her hands. Like she really kind of just pulls the fur apart. And
she's got her own technique that she...
Yeah, and he looks great.
Yes, always.
Yeah. She can see light and dark.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
It's like she can tell if the lights are off in a room, I think.
Yeah, she made a joke about she thinks I'm the only blind person who must be afraid of the dark.
Yes, that's right. Because she can tell when the lights are off. Yes. Yeah, and she talks about, that the cat show people have accepted her. But also, the idea that she can go to Belgium and the Netherlands by herself is because of cat shows.
Yeah.
That because she's been so dedicated to her goals and the goals she shares with Tango. Yeah. He seems to just love it.
He does.
He only had one day where he was in a bad mood.
He was a little bit grumpy one day when she was trying to brush him. Yeah.
Yeah. And he just wanted to go back in his house. And she couldn't let him go because if he went in, she wouldn't be able to get him back out
Right.
to be judged, and she knew that the long hairs were going to be announced in a second. She was going to have to take him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like not having it that day. I don't know what his deal was.
No.
Yeah, but that's interesting though that she felt confident and independent in her life in Coventry, with her job and her friends and her family, but that getting into cat shows actually pushed her even further.
Yeah.
And
outside of her comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, and she talks about that she entered a cat show one time, not really knowing what she was doing.
Right.
She said she entered a cat that really wasn't meant to be in competition, but she didn't know.
Right.
'Cause she can't see the cat.
Sure.
But then she just got more interested in knowing more about it. So, and it's gotten her to the point where not only can she travel internationally by herself, but, she's winning huge prizes, and she was chosen as the subject of a full-length documentary film.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, one of the things I loved is that Tango has an international cat passport.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Or international pet passport.
Yes.
Which I think we've brought up here before.
I think we have talked about that once or twice, but we get to actually see it.
Yeah, it's a groovy opportunity for pets to travel.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Because that's when she was going to Ireland and they got on the
ferry.
The ferry, yeah.
Yeah.
And she said that they had to check Tango's passport, but they didn't look at mine.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Another thing I really like about Carly is that at all of these cat shows, sort of on the last day or the last night, sort of a social thing,
yes,
they'll have like a fashion show.
Right.
The cats, and it'll have a theme.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one in Ireland had a 70s disco theme.
Right.
So like dress up your cats like they're going to Studio 54 or something. And Carly repeatedly says that she just doesn't take that step. Like she'll go, she'll be dedicated to cat shows, but she just doesn't believe in putting clothes on cats.
Exactly. Right.
And she can't see their faces. She just knows intrinsically.
Yes.
Like cats don't belong in clothes.
Yeah, that is an interesting point.
Because I think if people come to that conclusion, it's because they see how cats react to having clothes on.
Right.
Especially when you put a hat on them.
Right.
And they duck down, they stick their heads out in their neck and flatten their ears.
Right.
Like, I don't want this thing on my head. She can't see that, and yet she knows.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great idea. However.
Yes, she made an exception.
Well, yeah. At the end, we do see Tango in an outfit. Yeah, and she has friends who bring outfits for him, and she's like, no. And she can't see them, but she's like, no, not doing it. Nope. But I was going to say, on the other hand, Carly likes to go and get dressed up.
Oh, sure.
There's this whole sequence where she's trying on wedding dresses.
Yes, when she goes back to Ireland. She goes to Ireland to attend a cat show and to visit family because she's got family there.
Yeah. And one of her aunts.
One of her aunts owns a bridal shop.
Well, a dress shop.
A dress shop.
Yeah, like a fancy dress shop.
Yeah.
Not fancy dress like the British would say. Like it's for costume parties.
No.
But a fancy dress shop where there are wedding gowns, there are things you would wear as a bridesmaid or mother of the bride, but there are also like sort of like prom and fancy dance dresses.
Yes.
But Carly likes to go in there and try on the wedding dresses.
Yeah. Which you can't see, but she likes the feeling of wearing one.
Yeah.
It's a big, fancy dress.
Yeah, it's got the fabrics are soft and nice, and dresses like that, they make sounds when you walk, and so there's a lot of other senses at play there.
I get it,
but it is a little. I'm sorry, as a woman, I find it a little odd that without a wedding that you're planning for,
to go in and try dresses on.
To try dresses on is one thing. To try wedding dresses on.
No, that's what I meant. But I remember when I saw the trailer before I watched this, I saw this scene. And I thought it was exceptionally weird. I did not know, watching the trailer, I wasn't given the piece of the puzzle that it was her aunt's shop. The fact that it's her aunt's shop makes it a tiny bit more okay. If you just go into here's a shop, let's go in here and try on wedding dresses just for the heck of it. Mm-hmm. That would be a little bit more weird. There's a wonderful scene in that during that sequence, by the way, that I love.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Carly is in a dressing room off camera, and she's like changing or something, changing dress, changing into a new one. They have a little cutaway segment with her grandmother who's sitting in this chair in the shop. And Grandma says, yeah, I'd love it if she got married to a guy that could see. It would be, and she's talking very quietly. She's doing very, because she doesn't want Carly to hear her say this. Would like it if she married someone that could see. She does a much better job with the stage whisper than the guy in Moo Moo and the Three Sisters. But she says, she says, I would really like to see her marry a guy that could see, because he'd be able to take care of her better and it'd be better for her. I would really prefer it if she, if give it a choice between a guy who couldn't see and a guy who could, I would like to see. And then you could hear Carly say, yeah, I'd like that too, Granny. She totally heard the whole thing. Yeah, she heard. And then the look on Grandma's face. Just, oh my gosh, I didn't know she... Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Well, that kind of thing happens in all families, doesn't it?
Sure.
Yeah. Speaking of people who can see or not, we meet a young girl in the documentary who has the same sight condition as Carly.
At the end, yeah.
And that's wonderful. And they bring this girl into the cat show.
Yeah.
And they say that she doesn't have cats, this girl.
Right.
And I don't know that she'd ever touched a cat. But first they give her Tango to pet.
Right.
And it's just a tactile sensation she's never had before.
Right.
And I actually, on my own, after I watched this, with one of my cats in my lap, I pet him without looking, with closing my eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a lovely thing, long hair. You don't have long hair.
I don't have that luxury, no.
I mean, they're fun to pet anyway.
Well, I'll come over sometime and close my eyes and pet Colonel Lint and see what happens.
He'll leave. He'd be like, what's happening here, dude?
What is this all about?
Yeah. But it is lovely. And then, so she meets Tango, and then they take her around the cat show. And all kinds of people let her pet their cats.
I remember she met a hairless one, too.
Yeah.
This is like the exact opposite.
Yeah. No, it was really fun.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I really liked watching this.
Yeah, it was really good.
I think
I found it by accident because I was
Really?
because I was looking. Here's how I found it. I was looking to see, because on the last episode we talked about cat people.
Yeah.
I wanted to see if Cat People was available on Hulu.
Okay.
Because Hulu used to have the whole Criterion collection. They're gone now.
Oh.
But used to have the whole Criterion collection on Hulu. Used to be available there, and Criterion has Cat People. So I thought maybe I can watch it on Hulu. Mm-hmm. And I typed in, Cat People, and it brought up everything that had cat in the title, and that was like right up there near the top. I'm like, oh, what is this? Cat show. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, there you go. I'm glad you found it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the end, spoiler or not, whatever, but it is fun. At the end, they list all the things that Tango has won in the Tika competitions. And do you mind if I list them off?
No, go ahead.
So I had to pause many times to get all this right. So in this season that we're competing, or we're following the competition with Carly and Tango, he finished the season second best Himalayan in the world.
Yeah.
Sixth best all-breed cat in Western Europe. Sixth best all-breed cat in Western Europe. Fourth best long hair.
Yeah.
Best Himalayan in Western Europe. Best red color point internationally and in Western Europe.
Wow. Amazing.
And he's just a cool character.
He is.
He's not strutting around. Look at me. Look at me with all my titles.
Her goal was to finish the season with 9,000 points. She ended up with 9,298. Mm-hmm. So good for her.
Good for Tango.
Good for Tango.
Tango really did all the hard work.
There was another really good... Yeah, he did. He had to show up every day and be on stage. Yeah. There was a scene, I think, in Belgium. Okay. One of the ones where she had to travel to a foreign-speaking place. Tango did not do well.
Yes, I think that was Belgium where he didn't do well.
And then there was a scene like that night after the show where it's just her and Tango in the hotel room, and she was holding him up to her ear and listening to him purr, and she's just petting him.
Yeah.
And there's just silent, just standing there in the room, just sharing that time together. It was really sweet.
It is really sweet. Yeah. I love how they edited the sound in this documentary.
Yeah.
So that we could really hear Tango purring.
Yes.
And what a lovely purr.
Yeah.
I mean, I know all cats have lovely purrs, but his just seemed to reverberate in his body.
Yeah.
You know, and he has a good Himalayan body, too. Obviously, the best type, second best in the world.
Exactly.
Second best Himalayan in the world. Best Himalayan in Western Europe.
That's insane.
Sixth best all breed cat in Western Europe. We saw this.
Of all cats.
Of all cats 6. In Western Europe, he was number 6.
Wow.
And of all long-haired cats, he was number 4. Amazing. Of all red color point cats anywhere in the world, he was the best.
That's right. And she mentioned how when she first started on this sort of adventure of cat shows, that people thought she was crazy. And how do you suppose you're going to be able to do that? You can't even see. You're not going to be able to do that. That's not for you. And she's like, I'm going to show them. And she got kind of emotional when she was talking about that, when she got to the end and was listing off all of what he won and all that, because all the hard work that she put into it, and it was all worth it.
Yeah, all the planning. Yeah.
The sacrifices that you make.
Yeah. It costs a lot.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, she is a young woman who's interested in having a boyfriend and getting married and having, she talks about having her, babies, not just her cat babies, but having babies.
Right.
And if she's doing this, that's not, she's sacrificing a lot.
Sure.
Because, yes, she's incredibly capable.
That's another thing that Granny brings up, too.
Yeah.
She says that,
she better meet someone who likes cats.
Right. She's like, I don't know if there's many men out there that are into cat shows, is what she's saying.
And yet they're there at the cat shows.
Sure.
Yeah. In fact, one of the organizers of one of the cat shows, or the head of the cat association that puts on one of the cat shows that she goes to.
Yeah.
It's the one in Ireland. He says that most people don't understand what a cat show is for. And he says, and this is a quote, he says, it's a beauty contest. That's all it is.
That is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, it makes it so interesting because Carly's sense of what beauty is different than most
everybody
people's.
Else. Yeah.
And yet, the beauty of a cat is those things. It's the body shape and size and the head shape and tail length. And she can feel all those things just as well, because if you watch a judge at a cat show, they're feeling the cat.
Yeah.
Yes, they're looking at it as well, but they're feeling all those other things.
Yeah.
They really get their hands in there.
What the body shape is under all that fur.
Well, when it's a long-haired cat, yeah. And it's not just how the fur looks, but how the fur is groomed is how soft it is. And you don't want any static electricity, but you want it to fall nicely.
Sorry, Tesla.
Yes. Oh, hello, Harriet.
Harriet.
She heard we were talking about beauty contests, and up she comes onto the table.
Yes, Tesla would be a terrible cat show judge.
Yes. He would say, where's all the power?
No sparks.
Yes. So, I mean, there definitely are, and we saw men at the cat show that we went to.
Sure.
For sure.
I think it was nearly...
It is a stereotype.
It is. Yes, the cat lady stereotype. But I think at the cat show we were at, it was pretty close to 50-50.
Yeah.
60-40.
Lots of families that do it together.
There's a lot of families that do it together, true. Yeah.
Yeah. But I can understand why Granny would be concerned about that, because there is that stereotype. And I, more often than not, probably it is true just in regular homes. Yeah. Right. But there may be more women that have cats as pets than men. But at the cat shows, you really kind of see, pretty even breakdown of men and women at the cat shows.
I would agree, yeah.
Yeah. But Granny doesn't know that.
No, she doesn't go to cat shows.
Irish Granny is not going to cat shows.
Irish Granny's not going to the cat show.
I mean, maybe she'd go to see Tango compete.
Yeah.
But she's not going on her own.
No.
No. So it is nice at the end of the documentary, they do give us a little tag and let us know that the time that the film was finished that she does.
She met a man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who has a cat. And they said he was a climbing instructor.
Yeah, like a rock climbing instructor or something.
Which is something I thought, is she rock climbing now?
Why not? Sure.
I don't think there's any reason why she couldn't.
No, I don't think so.
In fact,
either.
maybe not being able to see very well or at all might be a benefit in rock climbing because you don't know how high you are.
Oh boy, that would help me a lot. I know.
Yeah. But if you couldn't feel where the next place was to go, because sometimes I've done some rock climbing and sometimes you have to see.
Oh, to know where to reach for.
Where should I look? And the thing that you're reaching for is maybe not quite in your reach. Sometimes you have to sometimes you have to move one of your legs first to sort of hoist yourself up a little bit higher to be able to reach the next thing you can reach with your hand.
Yeah.
So indoor rock climbing where you're like strapped in a harness and stuff, I don't think sight would have anything to do with it because you could take some chances.
Sure.
But rock climbing, I'm sure there are people who do it. I as a sighted person probably have no idea what a blind person could do rock climbing out in the wild.
No.
In the wild?
In the wild?
In nature? So
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't even be speaking to this because there are probably like international trophy
World
winning
champion,
rock climbers that are blind.
Sure.
Or have or maybe legally blind.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do I know? But I think maybe the funniest thing that happens in the whole documentary is that poor Tango, the last time we see him, is in a cone of shame.
Oh, yes.
Or an Elizabethan cone, as we properly call it in veterinary. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tango, has all these awards for being the best of all kinds of cats, is sitting at home with his cone on.
Or something
Yeah,
like
he
that.
had a scratched cornea.
Yeah.
Sad. So, it's possible Carly's probably really happy that she did all that with him because it's possible he's not really fit for competition anymore.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
But she has all those other, like all her other cats are female and her deal was to breed.
Yes, but Tango doesn't want to breed.
No, he does. He does not.
The quote, Carly says,
That's very funny.
he doesn't know what his bits are for.
Right. Yep.
Tango has no sex drive.
No.
Doesn't
poor guy.
care. They're just friends of his.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the way it'll stay.
Yeah. So even with all of his awards, she could probably do very well to breed him.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to.
Yeah. Well,
What are you going to do?
what are you going to do?
You can't make him.
No. He might change his mind.
He's only
He
2.
was only 2. He's got a lot of years left.
She kind of says that too.
Yeah.
Because one of the shows she's checking in.
Right.
And the guy that is checking her in asks her if she's breeding him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when
And she says something about him being, he's only 2. He doesn't know what his bits are for.
Yeah, but that's what she says. He doesn't know what his bits are for.
Right.
I thought that was very funny.
That was really funny.
Yeah, and people might ask and wonder because, a lot of people are very concerned. I mean, I am very concerned about, controlling cat population and unwanted cats. Mm. But, this is a situation where if she were to breed him, there are people who would definitely want those kittens.
Yeah, for sure.
People who want pedigreed, award-winning, sired, cats. So, and I didn't really get the sense from her that that's all she wanted because, sometimes you can be afraid of with some breeders that's all they're worried about is just making money.
Yeah, no, I never got that impression at all.
No, of course not, because she really doesn't care. It's really about just enjoying the cats.
Sure.
The scenes where we get to see her at home.
Yes.
With all those cats, and she plays with them.
Yes, she does.
Oh, I loved watching her shop for toys at the cat show.
Oh, yes.
Because again, she can't see them.
She can't see them.
She's feeling like how long is the string and what is it made of? This is feathers and and she chooses, and then she was talking about how many toys they have.
She says whenever they go to a show, she's always got to check out the merch.
Yeah.
And get some toys. I got so many toys from these shows. And she was unboxing a Necco Flies. Did you notice that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we wouldn't be allowed to do.
No.
Just buy it based on what it looks like in the box. Right. They're like letting her open it up and touch it and figure out whether she wants it. Yeah. So, anyway.
And she also got some professional portraits.
Oh, that's
done.
right. Oh, they were beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah, she said she hadn't had any pictures of Tango taken professionally since he was a baby.
Yeah, and they had a guy at one of those shows that had it all set up.
Yeah, and he was so good, wasn't he?
It was a team. It was the guy with the camera who was like totally still with the camera.
Yeah.
Trained on that cat.
Yeah.
And then the other guy who had the fun job was like moving toys around and shaking stuff and making little noises to get the cat to look in a certain direction.
Yeah, so they're kind of doing like real glamour poses where you'd be like, Tango would be standing straight up, but they'd get him to turn his head a little bit. Like I'm going to drop a feather over here and he's going to turn his head around behind his shoulder so he can look at it. And now you've got a looking over your shoulder shot. Yeah, which is a classic model maneuver.
Absolutely.
Oh, those were great. And then the end of the documentary, we got to see some of those shots.
Yeah.
But Carly said, that she's hoping he's going to win. And if he's going to win, they're going to ask for pictures. Yeah. Might even get a chance to put them in a magazine or something. Right. So she's got to have those pictures to give. So she had to spend the money. I'm sure that wasn't cheap.
I'm sure it wasn't.
Yeah. So all her money she makes as a physiotherapist basically goes to the cats.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So that is a lot of sacrifice.
It really is.
To make.
And I don't know how long the cat show season is.
No, I think it's an annual thing. Because if you go on the Tika website and you look at the schedule of cat shows, like the one that we went to happens once a year. Right. So once a year, that's in its season. So I think it's a year thing. Yeah. But I don't know when in the year it starts and finishes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think it's 12 months. And I think if you go to Tika and you look at, you'll see their cat shows all year round. Okay. And it really, I think, depends on weather, 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 right. Where those things are happening. Yeah. Because you wouldn't have, your cat show in Scotland in the dead of winter. Right. And it's just as you wouldn't have a cat show in Las Vegas in July. Right. So, because you don't want to ask the cats to travel, let alone the people. Yeah. It really, if anyone wants to go and look at the schedule of events on the Tika website, anybody can do it, Yeah. They're happening all year round. So I'm sure it's a 12-month thing. It's just where it starts and finishes. I don't know. I don't know if it's September to August.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
July to June. Who knows? Because we really didn't get that in the documentary. Like we weren't getting dates. No. Like when this was happening. No. Just the places. Yeah. And we didn't really get a sense of the passage of time. Like all of a sudden it's snowing in one place or. Yeah, we didn't know. Yeah. And the documentary was released in 2014, but I don't know when they filmed all of that either. Right. So I really enjoyed it. I think we both really enjoyed it. And I hope anybody who has Hulu can go and watch it. And I'm not sure where else you might find it. I think you can rent it on YouTube for $3.99 or something like that. Yeah. And maybe like on iTunes or something like that. You can like do a movie rental. Oh, I think people would enjoy it. Yeah. Definitely. It's definitely worth checking out. So, go and do that. Shows. I thought it was interesting that every cat show that she went to sounded exactly like the one that we went to. You could hear the Bengals. Tango's not a talker. No, not really. Yeah. He's just kind of fine all the time. Always. He's like, what are we doing? Great. That sounds awesome. That's what I was hoping to do today. Yeah, so let's go do that thing. Yeah. He completely trusts her. It won Best International Feature Documentary from the American Documentary Film Festival in Palm Springs. Okay. In 2015. It was an official selection Doc Feed Film Festival in Eindhoven, the Netherlands, 2015, and the Film Festival Markets 2015, Hot Docs Toronto Film Festival,
and Sheffield Videotech.
Okay.
So won several awards
Well, good.
as a documentary.
It's lovely. It's very positive, and it's unlike most of the things we talk about on this podcast, to be honest with you.
We saw a movie that we liked.
Yeah. That we both liked.
And was like genuinely good. We didn't like it because it was dumb.
Yeah, it was genuinely good. It was charming. I really like Carly as a person.
Yes.
And loved all her cats. Yeah.
I like there's the scene where she's at home, and this is where we meet all of her cats. And I didn't write down all their names, but she says, this cat is my favorite because she has a great personality. Yeah. This cat is my favorite because she always follows me around the house. This cat is my favorite for this reason. And this cat is my favorite for this reason. And this cat is my favorite.
So they're all
her
I
favorite.
love that.
Yes.
Yeah. Every single cat is her favorite. For its own special reason.
Yeah.
It was really nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny because with my two cats, on certain days, I feel like, I like one of them better. And then an hour later, I feel the opposite.
Flipped it, yes.
Yeah.
I know. I'm exactly the same way.
Yeah. So I like how she does it better.
Yes. Yeah.
They're all her favorites.
Right.
She never likes any of them more or less.
Right.
I mean, yeah, we always love them, but I love that. No, this one's my favorite, and this one's my favorite, and this one's my favorite.
It's not just that she loves them; they're her favorite.
Every single one is her favorite. Yeah. Well, that's a nice place to leave it, I think.
I think so.
So, ladies and gentlemen, go play with your cats.
Go play with your cats.
And watch Cat Show.
Check it out.
Great. Okay.
Bye.
Talk to you next time.